Good morning and welcome in on this cold and frosty. It's not really frosty, but it feels a bit chillier this morning. Friday morning. The sun is shining. I've got a nice warm cup of tea with a duck, obviously, to keep me going this morning. So, welcome in. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK. And we like to come on and have a little bit of a play a couple of times a week where we're able to. So that's what we're going to do this morning. But first of all, let me introduce myself a little bit more. If you are looking for me online anywhere, this is where you will find me, www.loveaduckie.co.uk. Good morning, Lisa. And that's my website where you will find links to all sorts of things, including shops, and you'll find blog posts and links to retired items and downloadable tutorials, lots of things going on over at my website. So do go and check that out. And wherever you're looking for me on the World Wide Web, whether you are looking on or social media, whether you're looking Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, look out for Love-a-Duckie, and that's where you'll find me. Good morning, Karen. So that's where you'll find me. If you're looking for me, do go along and join, like, follow, do all of those things to make sure that you don't miss out on anything exciting. We've got a bit of a promotion just been launched. So these were launched this week, the Fitting Florets collection. A really, really pretty set. I'll show you the flyer in a minute and have a little look at things. It's a stamp and die bundle that are going to be available in the mini catalogue that will launch in January. But there's also a second stamp set in there with Christmassy greetings in, and there's a beautiful pack of papers. I might grab those actually. That you can use all year round, really. There's some things that you can use for Christmas. Morning, Elaine. But things that you can use at all other times of year. And then there are some really lovely embellishments in there as well, and they're just behind me. I'll perhaps grab those as well. So let's come on down to my downward facing camera. We'll come back to that in a minute because that's what we're looking at today. And this is the Fitting Florets collection. So as you can see, they're available from the 1st of November to the 4th of January. Some of it is going to be available carrying over, but some of it is not. So let's have a look. So this here, the framed florets stamp set and the coordinating dies are the things that are going to carry over into the mini catalogue. And these dies actually look as if, they don't do very much. But actually, we used them on the gnomes the other day. You can start mix and matching these frames to create all sorts of things. This is a card that's been created with this particular collection, and you can see that there's this heart sort of shaped border around the edge of this oval just here, which has been cut by this die, and we've got this sort of piece just here, this embossed piece just here, which has been cut with this die. The oval that I've used in the center is the center of this die. We've also got this frame here that we used with gnomes the other day, and there's an oval that comes out of the center of that as well. So lots of fabulous things you can do by mixing and matching all of those lovely ovals, and then you've got these beautiful floral stamped images that have got dies to cut them out, along with some flourishy bits as well, some bits of whatever the word is I'm looking for, greenery. So you can see that this is this one just here that I've die cut. So this is the bundle that's going to be carried over, the framed florets. But then we've got these other extras that have been added in that are only going to be available up until the end of the year or while stocks last. One of them is these gold adhesive backed swirls. But if you can pick that up, they're really beautiful. They are really gold and swirly, as it says on the tin. So that's one of the things that is available now until the end of the year. One of the others is this paper, which is really beautiful. And as you can see, so this is quite, this lovely blue paper could be used for your Christmas cards. You've got all of these flowers. You've got this sort of mistletoe background, which would be great for some of your Christmas cards. But alongside that is a pink pattern. You've got these blue flowers that've got a lovely sort of frosty feel about them. You could add a bit of wink of Stella and some white glimmer paper in with those to make them Christmassy or winter themed birthdays. But equally could be used all year round. That's a really useful geometric sort of pattern, isn't it? This pretty floral background. I love this blue and pink. Just lovely. And that really pink, polished pink on there. Some more sort of blue and green flowers. A nice evening evergreen check. So you can see a really sort of eclectic mix of papers that you can very definitely use for your Christmas cards, but equally can be used all year round. And you can see this sample on the front here. This one they've used as Christmas, Merry Christmas from us all. They followed all over the background. This one is much more So Lucky to Call You Friend, more of a sort of all year round. So the papers are till the end of the year while stocks last, as are the swirls. And then there is this framed and festive stamp set. Now, I haven't actually got this one myself, but it is a really good stamp set. Merry Christmas, fa la la la, 'tis the season to be jolly, from our home to yours, from all of us, Noel. May the season be filled with peace and joy. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. So a fabulous set and some quite nice, big, good-sized images. So certainly worth, if you're looking for a Christmas sentiment set, certainly worth looking at that one. So that is the Fitting Florets collection that is currently available. So some of it to carry over, some of it will be going away at the end of the year. So if you want it, you need to get it now. But that's not what we're going to be playing with today. What we're going to be playing with today is some embossing folders. And if we look in the mini catalogue, there's 3 little sections with embossing folders here. We've got the Whimsical Wonderland 3D, the Leaf Ball 3D, and the Charming Landscapes. And we're going to make some wintry cards with using some of these embossing folders. So we're going to use the Whimsical Wonderland and the Charming Landscapes. We have a quick look where they appear in the catalogue. The Charming Landscapes are along with the Santa Express suite, and you can see them being used on this card here in the background. There's all these houses and things, and I don't know whether we're quite picking it up, but there's mountains in the background behind that tree, behind the train behind that train just there. So that is the Charming Landscapes one, and the other one, page 39, the Whimsical Woodland. You can see in the background just there. So yeah, that's the Whimsical Woodland embossing folder. So here they are. These are the Charming Landscapes. Obviously, they're not going to show up very well on the camera. I don't know if I stand right behind them, whether that will be any easier. But this one is sort of like mountains and snow and stars in the background there. And this one is more of a quirky little town scene, but Christmas trees. There's, I didn't quite pick them up, but candy canes sticking out of the snow, snowflakes in the sky, and then this sort of dotty, snowy scene on the bottom. So those are the 2 Charming Landscape ones. So they are the narrower embossing folders. They're just a standard embossing folder. They're not a 3D one, but they will fit through your mini. So you get 2 of those in your pack. And the other one is this gorgeous big 3D thick embossing folder, and that has got all of these, what it says, Whimsical Woodland. It's full of these sort of pretty patterned whimsical trees in the background there. Great fun. Okay, so I have some vague ideas in my mind, as I often do. piece of basic white just there. Let's start off with this Whimsical Woodland. Cut myself a piece of cardstock. I'm going to make it, I'll just cut a quarter of a piece of cardstock to start with. Move the rest out of the way then. We might need some more in a minute. I'm going to cut this down to 9.5 to start with. And I'll come at 13.9. I don't think I'm going to need all of that, but we will see. So I've got a piece there that's 13.9 by 9.5. And I'm going to layer that into my embossing folder. And I'll slide it up and down and have a bit of a decision as to where I'd like it to go. Right, come about there, I think. Right, I'm now going to run that through my bigger machine. Obviously, this one won't go through the mini. So here we have Granny Apple Green trees embossed all over. Rather pretty. Now I am going to take a Whisper White stamp pad and I am going to swipe that over the top. To help our trees pop out of the background. To take my little trimmer, quick slurp of tea, and right, I'm just trying to work out how big I want to do my strips. I'm going to go 2.5 centimeters, I think. And I'm going to cut some strips with this. So 2.5 centimeters is about 1 inch. So if it's easier to cut it at 1 inch, whereas with this one, it has got 1 inch line going all the way down. So that does make that slightly easier to line that up. I cut that one wrong. Let's not worry too much because I was going to have more than I needed anyway. That's better. Might use these little bits on the end, we'll see. I'm then going to cut myself a little piece of basic white. I think I'll make this 10 by 14.4. And let's lay some of our strips on here. We'll decide how many we want. Might make the most of having a slightly smaller one. That one was the one that went in the middle. We'll have a slightly smaller one going on in the middle. Oh, crash. Lined all those up beautifully and then landed a piece of card on top of it. Let's just see that this is the right width. No. Cut that to 10.5 and score it down the centre. So for this is 14.9. If you were doing this with imperial cardstock, it would be 4.25 wide and 5.5 down the length. And obviously you'd need to adjust your mats and things to go with it. I'll have that on there like that. He's coming across here. Let's find ourselves a strip of basic white somewhere. Perfect. We'll have a greeting coming across the front. I've actually picked out the Trees for Sale stamp set because I quite like this Christmas greetings just here. Nice biggish sentiment. Running up a green ink pad. Christmas greetings. That's on a bit of a wonk there. It's a bit better. I'm going to cut that off a little bit and do a banner end on the end here. And we will find a bit of granny apple green to go underneath. Ink's gunked up a little bit. There we go. There we are. Nice banner. Let's start sticking some of this down. bring our pieces up here. I'm going to take the centre piece first. Move it off of this card base because that's not quite central on there either. Just doing it by eye, about there I would think. I'm going to do the outside piece. About there. And the inner piece. Oh, we will need some inner piece. About there. Let's come back on this other side and do the outside piece. And this inside piece just here. Like that. I've got some of the Parakeet Party metallic ribbon just here that we'll perhaps use. And we've got this Christmas greetings. I'm going to have a quick rummage. Thought I might have had one of the big snowflakes left, but I don't think I have one of the carried over snowflakes. Look at this. Bit of a bow. Stick this to our card front. Glue dot, slurp of tea. To pop a glue dot onto there, like a bit of ribbon. We will add that to the back of our sentiment piece. And some large dimensionals, and we'll just run some large dimensionals along here. Actually bring in a small one. Let's bring in a bit of a mini, and just pop one just there. We've added a little mini on the end there, the other side of that bow. Just going to bring in some of the pearlized enamel effects. And just let's add in some pearly dots. That's not a pearly dot, that's a pearly blob. Sort that out in just a second. The nice thing about the pearly dots is you're not thinking to yourself, oh, that's half a packet gone. So bring in a little bit of card and try and scoop up that dot a little bit. That's better. So there we are. We've just used that embossing folder. Morning, Neat. Embossed some Granny Apple Green card, covered it with some white Whisper White craft ink or white craft ink, added in a greeting, a bow of metallic ribbon, and a few little pearly dots. Let's cut it up into strips. So that's quite a nice simple little card. And to pop that to one side so that those dots can dry without me hopefully resting any elbows in them. Let's bring in these landscapes. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to want but one or both of them. I've yet to completely decide if I want one or both of them. So we'll perhaps emboss both of them and see what they look like, and then decide from there. Is that wide enough? No. I'll be able to cut a piece of this now, I think. So these embossing folders, let's check, will probably be about 8.5 centimetres, 9 centimetres, just under 9. So if we say 8.5, it won't be far away. I'm going to cut a piece of basic white at 8.5. And we'll cut this at 8.5. So that's sort of about 8.9 is around about the maximum that you're going to get through your mini cut and emboss. Now, if we look at our cut and emboss plates that you get with your mini, you get your base plate, you get your 2 acrylic plates that go through if you're cutting, and then you get 2 embossing folders. One thinner one, number 4, is if it's for 3D embossing folders, and this thicker, paler grey, number 3, is for standard embossing folders. So we are going to want, as it says here, number 1 and number 3, the standard embossing folders. These are the 2 plates we're going to need to use with these, because they are indeed standard embossing folders as opposed to 3D ones. Let me move my pearls out of the way with my scissors. And let's bring in a mini cut and emboss. So we'll start with the mountain scene. Put my piece of basic white in there. Layer that on that base plate and bring in plate number 3. And we'll wind that through there. There we are. You have this mountain scene with beautiful snow and stars in the background. So that's one of the pair of embossing folders you get with the Charming Landscapes. The other one, run that through now, pop in our basic white card, layer it up with matte plate number 1 and plate number 3, and we'll run that one through. I'll move that out of the way. I think after all that exertion, we'll have another quick slurp of tea. Before it gets completely cold. And there you can see on that one, so you've got like this town scene, you can see the candy canes sticking up out of the state of my hands, disgusting fingers, inky fingers. You can see the candy canes sticking up out of the snow, snowflakes, trees, houses. Is all going on there. Let's just pop those to one side for now. While we have a little look at these. Right, I'm going to take a blue blending brush and I think I'm going to go balmy blue. Let's ink up my brush. I'm going to come over the top of the mountains and just chickle over the top. Pick up at least the edges of those mountains. Come in on the bottom too. Okay. What I am going to do is I'm going to take my scissors. Where are we? Don't want my ribbon scissors. And I'm going to come around and cut around the top of this embossed image. Have a nice little mountain range. And then we have a mountain range. I'm going to do the same with the town, but I may well layer them up. We will see. And come around the top of that star on top of the tree. Let's come round a candy cane. If that all feels a bit too much, just chop those pieces off. I'll come back into that in a minute. And we'll come around here. Around the funny little crooked chimney. Now that tree. Up with the little tree. Along the top of the house. Cut that bit off. Down the other side. Come. On the other side. Around this chimney. Up. Down. Cross. Down. Wiggly wiggly. They are quite sort of straight angular lines almost. And to come up to that this way. Just going to chop off that excess, and then I can concentrate on cutting round this candy cane. Gently, gently, without lopping it off. If I do cut it off, either we won't have a candy cane there, or I will stick it on separately. I want to be able to snip into there. Like that. Looks a bit of a funny shape. You might come back into that one in a minute. I'm going to add some colour, so that will hopefully pick out the candy cane image a little bit more. Right, so there we have mountains. Here we have a town. I'm going to come back in with my balmy blue. And I'm just going to add a bit of balmy blue to this snow piece at the front. And I think, let's have a look. Let's have bring in a few blends. Start with these and then we'll have a red. Won't worry about trying to get it candy cane striped. Let's come in with some dark granny apple green. And same for this one up here. Let's just bring in some red in between. It looks a little bit like they're decorated. And we'll give them a little dark saffron star on the top. No, I think I might want to be darker than that. Let's go. Let's go dark pale papaya. How does that look? That's better. And have some lights in the windows. Let's have a green wreath. And I think we'll have a red door. And come in with the light granny apple green, I think, for these trees. Let's have and this is a dark crumb cake. It looks like it's starting to get a bit low. But hopefully we'll finish this roof. This one is a light crumb cake. That roof. This one will have a red roof. And this is the light poppy parade. We'll have a red chimney because we can. Let's have a balmy blue house here. And I'll perhaps go light balmy blue at this end. And I think I'll go light smoky slate in the middle here. Then we just want mountains in the background, houses in the front. Just need some sort of a background in there. Going to be too bright. Yes, I think it is. I think that one will be too much in the background there. Let's go with a balmy blue background. I'm going to cut myself a piece of 14.4 by 10 balmy blue. Now, I'm going to need to trim some of these down, but that's fine, I think. We'll bring that piece in so the mountains reach the top of the cardstock. Like that. Let's bring our scissors, we'll turn it over and trim off this excess either side. We'll bring in our little towel. And dig around and try and find the large dimensionals that I just started. Small, mini, one large one on there. Oh, goodness me. It was here just now, wasn't it? Let's use some of these edge bits as well. Finish that bit up. We'll do the rest in minis. Okay, let's take those off of the back there. And we've got a bit of wiggle room to decide where we want that to go. I think we'll bring it so that this edge is nearly lined up. Just a bit of a peak of that mountain behind it. And this side. So let's find a different Christmas greeting. I think that was a bit bigger than we want. Got the regal reindeer. We'll have the Merry Christmas from in there. There's also some nice little snowy bits in here. So let's grab a little block. And we'll come back to that wisp white craft ink, the white craft ink. And let's add in some snow. And a Merry Christmas. I think we'll have a white card base on there. I'm going to put a couple of inventions under these roofs just to hold those down in place. That's rather fun. I'm going to bring in a bit of that, I think, to add a bit of glimmer to this front snow. Sorry, battering you. Wrap this mesh round here. The shimmery, shiny snow stuff. Now this is very light. It doesn't need a lot to stick it down. We want it to be sort of a bit fluid on the front there. Add a little bit of white. The balmy blue ink. Just look at this. Stuck my finger. straight in the Whisper White craft ink. Silly Billy, some say. Let's put the lid down on that, shall we, so that we can't repeat that. Merry Christmas. A little bit more army blue. Stick this piece to our card base. And we'll add some dimensionals on the back of here. And a little bit of a jaunty angle. And shall we have a few little pearls on here as well, just for good measure? Why not, while we've got them sitting in front of us? Oh, and I've done it again. Scoop up our little pearl. Right, so 2 cards using predominantly embossing folders to create some wintry scenes. So one with the whimsical woodland and the other using both of the embossing folders from the Charming Landscapes to create a charming landscape. So I hope you think those are fun, and that you'll get your embossing folders out and have a little bit of a play. I'm going to move these back to one side so that I don't inadvertently lean on them as I'm sorting myself out. That would be disastrous. Let's come back up here. So have a lovely weekend, everybody. If there's anything that you want to know, either about those embossing folders, about the Fitting Florets collection, or indeed about anything else Stampin' Up, don't hesitate to reach out. And if I can help you, I will. I will be delighted to. Otherwise, I will be back on Monday morning. So I will see you all then.